Check out our next trickster.
I consider myself a juggler who does magic. I broke the Guinness World Record of juggling chainsaws, and I still hold that record. I know I look like an accountant, but I've done many things. I was a volunteer firefighter, and I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. It's like, would the real Ian Stewart please stand up? Today, I'm using crossbows. I've been doing this a long time, but I am using really dangerous objects, and accidents do happen. I could actually get hurt. Hopefully, tonight, I'll have the nerves of steel I need to pull this trick off.
Please welcome daring deceiver Ian Stewart.
Today I brought with me a very bad idea. It all started in my garage with a crossbow. I found a solenoid. It's just an electric motor that pulls in when electricity is applied. I put the solenoid on the trigger of the crossbow, ran it to a plug, and put a button midway so that when I press the button, hopefully it will fire the crossbow into that target if we're lucky. The more perceptive of you would have noticed, behind me I've placed 4 more targets, 4 more crossbows, and 4 more firing buttons. With the first crossbow, there's just 1 wire. Well, we have 4 this time, and generally you would run the wires nice and neatly so that you could see which crossbow was fired by which button. Today we were in a bit of a hurry. Unfortunately, when the crew set it up, the wires were just left in a jumble, meaning that now you don't know which button fires which crossbow. Come to think of it, neither do I. Why does this matter? It matters because in a moment, I'm going to be standing in front of those targets. And these crossbows are going to be firing at me. Because I'm going to be standing back there, I can't press the buttons. So I'm going to have to share the fun of pressing the buttons with someone else. Alyson, if you would please. Have you ever fired a crossbow before?
Not at a person.
No. Step forward, if you would please, to the buttons. These buttons, like I said, each one will fire a crossbow. These are very dangerous. These are designed for hunting wild animals. Or in this case, a crazy magician. Pick a number between 1 and 4.
3.
3. From here on out, whatever you do, do not touch button number 3. This is by penalty of death. My death. To more clearly show you which one not to touch, we've got a box we'll place over it. That makes sure you can't even press it by accident. Do not press anything unless I ask you to. You got it?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So back here, we've got the targets. I'm actually going to be standing right here, where this target is. We've got 3 around me. You chose 1 button that we're not going to press. That means we have 3 other buttons that we can press. Let's see what would have happened if you press number 1. Hold your finger above number 1. Just a second. This is a horrible idea.
Yeah.
But it might be awesome. Let's see if it is awesome. Button number 1 on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go. Alyson, there's a button beside that, I believe number 2, that hasn't been pressed and isn't covered. Why don't you see what happened if you would perhaps press button number 2? On the count of 3, press number 2. 1, 2, 3, go. We're down to 2 crossbows. We're down to 2 buttons. One of these crossbows is aimed at the balloon above my head. The other one is aimed directly at my chest. Alyson, you've been a wonderful volunteer so far.
Great, you're going to pick someone else?
There's just one last of these buttons to press before we get to the one that you chose. Let's see what would have happened if number 4 was pressed. Hold a finger above number 4.
I don't want to do this.
1, 2, 3. Alyson, would you please remove the danger cover? I've got down here 1 more balloon. Alyson did such a great job as a sharpshooter so far. I'm going to have you do one last dramatic shot. Alyson's going to attempt to shoot this balloon out of my mouth. I'll give you a thumbs up. You press button number 3. Are we ready?
Oh, my God. Ian Stewart!
Thank you for your help.
You don't look crazy, but you clearly are.
I don't consider it crazy. I consider it well calculated.
Oh, I don't. That was terrifying.
For me as well.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about your family and oh, yuck.
Well,
yuck.
My own son is the reason I'm here.
Really?
Yes.
So he likes you doing this?
He loves my stunts, and more importantly, he's a big Penn and Teller fan.
Oh, well,
and he asked me if I could come up with a trick for the show, so I did.
Wow. And here you are.
We made it.
Does he want to do magic?
My son does magic already. He has a little magic kit and practices the tricks, starting to learn some juggling as well.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, he must be thrilled you're here.
He is so happy.
All right. Let's see if Penn and Teller figured out your trick.
Well, Ian, this is a really good routine, and we know something that no other show would talk about, and I want to talk about it, and that is we know you would not be allowed on this show if you were doing something dangerous. We both believe that that is not only stupid, it's also immoral. You would not ever do that to Alyson. So you were controlling our feelings. You were controlling all our anxiety. There's nothing I like better than things that look really dangerous and are really, really safe. That's what art should be. No one should ever be hurt doing art, and you did a wonderful job at that. And we think the most beautiful thing you have on stage is that tangle of wires. What better way to show chaos than something that beautifully ugly, all tangled up there? But I want to say my biggest compliment to you is you did something that kept us on the edge of our seats, was really, really terrifying, and you were in control all the time. And you did not put that on Alyson.
You're correct.
So they figured it out?
They did.